Good evening. Welcome to the West Orange Board of Education Board Meeting on November 21, 2022. I'd like to thank all of you here in person and those of you watching from home joining us tonight. I'd like to welcome my fellow board members and Dr. Schoen and Ms. Flowers. Thank you all for being here. Unfortunately, President Tunnicliffe and board member Eric Stevenson are unable to make it tonight. And so you'll see my face and hear my voice more. Mrs. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Good evening, everyone. Roll call, please. Mrs. Huerta.
Here.
Mr. Rock.
Here.
Mr. Stevenson. Vice President Rothstein.
Here.
President Tunnicliffe. Notice of meeting. Please take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner: that a written notice was sent from the office of the Secretary of the Board at 4:00 p.m. on January 7th, 2022. That said notice was sent by regular mail to the West Orange Township Clerk and the editors of the West Orange Chronicle and the Star Ledger. That said notice was posted in the lobby of the Administration Building of the Board of Education. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first item for the evening in consideration of the closed and public meetings of October 17th, 2022. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
It's a tie.
I'll second.
Okay, so Ms. Huerta motions and Mr. Rock seconds. Any comments on the minutes? All right, seeing no comments, Ms. Flowers, please take the vote.
Ms. Huerta.
Yes.
Mr. Rock.
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening to our student liaisons. Maura and Yushin. Would you please share your student liaison report with us?
Yes, thank you so much for having us tonight. So as a part of our efforts to get in touch with as many students from the district as possible, the student liaisons have started surveying West Orange High School students via Google Form. We're aiming to get more data from the high school students by sending out the form on blast, and we're also exploring new ways, including a survey, of getting in touch with our middle school counterparts to hear their opinions and feelings on their schools and the district. The West Orange High School Fall Play, which was Alice in Wonderland this year, was performed from November 18th to November 20th. We'd like to say a huge congratulations to the entire cast and crew on an amazing performance.
Fall sports are wrapping up, and what a season it has turned out to be. Boys soccer won the sectional championship and made it to the final round of the Group 4 state tournament. Congratulations to them. Girls soccer also won the Super Essex tournament title. The football team won sectional champions for the first time ever in school history. And although we came up a little short last night, this year we made history, and we congratulate all of them in the success and hope for even more success next season. So congratulations to all of our fall sports teams on a great season. And now we would like to also congratulate Mr. Moore on moving into the central office to lead our district. Mr. Moore has been an amazing leader for West Orange High School and has made a huge impact on countless lives for many, many years. We will miss him greatly, but we're also really looking forward to getting to know Mr. Guerrero, our new West Orange High School principal, and continuing to work with Mr. Moore from his new position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Dr. Schoen, Superintendent's report. Do you have a report for us?
Thank you, Mr. Rothstein. Good evening, everyone. I too want to welcome Mr. Moore. We had our first day together as Mr. Moore is our Assistant Superintendent of Schools. We hit the ground running. We're in meetings all day long, and I really think we're going to make a wonderful team. So I'm glad you're here. I have three items. Two are quick reports, and then one is the introduction of Dr. Vespignani, who will be doing a presentation for us this evening. The first is in the spring, Dr. Pollins completed the American Rescue Plan ARP Homeless Children and Youth Grant application, an effort to increase resources for our homeless and displaced families. She collaborated with Cheryl Butler to determine needs, and together they created a budget that worked in support of removing barriers and increasing access. West Orange was awarded a total of $28,950. Gift cards were earmarked to support our homeless and displaced students. The amount of the gift cards is $5,650. Target gift cards will be purchased in bulk. They do not expire. It was chosen so that our families can purchase food, clothing, toiletries in one place. We divided up the denominations into $25, $50, and $100 gift cards. There's nothing better than helping students always, but helping those in need and their families. So a huge congratulations to Dr. Pollins and Ms. Butler for their work. The second part of my report references a HIB report. Since our last board meeting, we have had 7 HIB investigations in our district. I did review the summaries of the investigations of those reported. There is 1 confirmed and 6 non-confirmed. I concur with the findings of our anti-bullying specialist presented. Finally, we have a presentation this evening, Diversity Data and Recruitment Plan by our Executive Director of Personnel and Special Projects, Dr. Joe Vespignani. So with nothing more that needs to be said, we'll turn it over to you, Dr. Vespignani. And if the board could come sit in front, please, it'll be easier for us to see as well as our students. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Schoen, and thank you to the board for the opportunity to present this evening and update on the diversity data and recruitment plan. I'm excited to be with you and provide a bit of behind the scenes in regard to some of the activities that the board and the community may not be aware of. Before I take a dive into the PowerPoint, I wanted to also recognize and thank the Human Resources Department, Kim Stecker, Linda Teresi, and Kathy Winston, all of who have contributed in some way, not only to the data and the presentation, but all the various activities. So thank you to that team, really an excellent group. So this is just a snapshot of the action plan that was implemented in July of 2020. The goal was to increase partnerships with various organizations, colleges, universities, to ensure district representation at various career fairs and expand our reach, to research the structure of programs under the homegrown title. So we had taken a meeting with Montclair State University last year to explore some other options. And through our research, we've determined that our existing program, Tomorrow's Teacher, and I'll share in a later slide, is been identified as one of the premier programs throughout the state and comes recommended actually from the NJDOE. So we're looking for measures to expand that program and our reach from a recruitment effort within. And lastly, to monitor the number of diverse candidates employed by the board and to present on an annual basis. So some of the activities that we participated in this last year, I had enrolled the district in membership with Central Jersey Program for Recruitment of Diverse Educators, commonly referred to as CJ Pride. This enables not only my participation in 4 to 5 workshops throughout the year, but in March of last year, myself and about 10 of our administrators participated in a virtual diversity career fair. So our membership allows the district to participate in that and gain exposure to candidates throughout the state that we may not otherwise have an opportunity to interview. So we look forward to that program again this year. year. Mr. Alvine, our supervisor of K-12 physical education and health, and I participated in the Morehouse College 19th annual James B. Haynes Graduate School Workshop. I can tell you this, we were the only school district represented there, and kind of an outside of the box thinking. We wanted to gain exposure to recruit some potential candidates into the profession of education, and from a coaching standpoint to do the same. So we found that to be real beneficial. We enjoyed that virtual workshop, and the invite's already out for this February. So we look forward to participating again. We had conducted a circuit of career fairs, all of which were in person this past year. Typically, some principals and I partnered to attend. So the William Patterson University career fair, Mr. Fitzgerald and I participated in, and then Mr. Hush and I attended the King University and Montclair State Career Fair to recruit candidates. We have our annual West Orange Virtual Diversity Career Fair, and this year we've tweaked that a bit to actually be holding it twice per year. And I can tell you that very few districts throughout the state hold their own career fair, and I know of only one other who conducts it more than once per year. So in collaboration with our new Director of Diversity, Equity, Access, and Inclusion, Dr. Pollins, we've launched the diversity career fair this year. We held our first one in October, the week of October 17th, and we're looking forward to another career fair in March. The idea of the October 17th fair was to capture any certificated individuals coming from School of Education who would graduate in December, and then to do it again in March ahead of what would be the standard career fair circuit. For example, most of the career fairs throughout the state are held in late spring. So we were looking to get a jump start on that, so to speak, and have it a little bit earlier in March to gain access to those individuals who are either passively seeking employment and or who are graduating from a college or university and are therefore going to be certified and seeking employment. We've also augmented the student teacher placement process. I now interview every student teacher that requests placement, including any practicums, internships, or the full year student teaching. It's been a great way to connect with those who are interested in their professional growth within the district. I'm then able to monitor their certifications, where they're at within their respective programs, and from a recruitment effort, it works quite well. I can report that last year, from those who participated in student teaching with us, the board went on to employ 2 individuals as full-time teachers, 1 as a para and 1 as a leave replacement. We must thank our administrators for their efforts and willingness to take on student teachers to further their professional growth and from a recruitment effort. So we thank them for that. Just some training and networking that we've done this last year, the annual New Jersey Convening for Diversifying the Teacher Workforce. I've attended this annually. This year, Dr. Pollins represented the district. It's a series of 3 to 4 workshops, all intended for those districts who have made the commitment to diversifying their candidate pool and eventually their teacher workforce. We've maintained our partnership with Kane University and the Diversity Council on Global Education and Citizenship. They offer an abundance of workshops and resources for the district, which has been great. And most recently in October, for the first time, I attended the New Jersey School Boards Association addressing the teacher shortage. And it's here where the Tomorrow's Teacher program was recognized as one of the premier New Jersey's Grow Your Own. So this is a program and a partnership that the district has with Rider University, where we have students in the high school participating in a full year elective course. And I'll share some details about my visit to that classroom in a later slide. It's important to note here that the teacher shortage is very, very real. And NJ.com recently released some information that in 2010, New Jersey's colleges and universities who have a School of Education graduated 5,000 candidates to be employed in the workforce. And most recently in 2020, that number dropped by 1,500 and is now 3,500. So there is a teacher shortage. So our recruiting efforts, I think it's important to keep in mind that the candidate pool, at least here in New Jersey, has shrunk. So we're trying to find innovative ways in order to continue our recruiting efforts. When we talk about planning and recruitment, it's important to also consider the back end of a human capital management system and the induction, development, and retention components. In other words, we can plan, we can recruit, but if we're not implementing processes to support our new staff members to ultimately retain them, then it's all for naught. So in regard to induction, in school districts, this typically consists of a summer new staff orientation, 1 to 2 days. Mentoring for the first year is required, and then various professional development days throughout the school year. We've looked to augment that, and our new staff orientation this year included, as it has historically, but we have made a primary focus on DEAI training, and Dr. Pollins presented that this year. We've also augmented our contractual new teacher academy. So there is a contractual obligation, but of course we want to make this meaningful and powerful for our new staff members. It's a 2-year cohort program. And this year we have approximately 15 staff members who are new to the profession, providing them with additional layers of support. And again, in collaboration with Dr. Pollins, we've introduced Trauma for Informed Schools and a partnership with the NJ Bar Foundation to provide some training throughout the school year. I've continued with my 30, 60, 90-day check-ins, but this year I have implemented them through a pulse survey. A pulse survey is a survey that is brief, implemented at regular intervals. So this year's cohort was approximately 76 new staff members who began in September. And then after the end of their first 30 days, I disseminated a survey for them to respond to, and I'll share some data in the next few slides. And we've maintained our partnership with the YMCA of the Oranges for staff wellness. All of our West Orange employees are eligible for subsidized family membership to some of the local YMCAs. So from a induction and retention standpoint, we express to our new staff members that their wellness is of concern, and we want to provide them with opportunities, for themselves and for their families to participate in some of the great programs at the YMCA. We've also maintained our partnership with Fairleigh Dickinson University and an educational leader program. We do have some staff members who are pursuing the principal or supervisor certificate. One of the pillars of this program is leadership for social justice. And in fact, FDU's recently announced that they're expanding to a new EDD program for those who are pursuing a doctorate. So more good things to come on that. So I wanted to share some data in regard to the pulse surveys. And this is a snapshot of the 30-day pulse survey data. In this round of the survey, it was distributed to 76 staff members, 51 responded, both certificated and non-certificated. And here we see the data, overall rating between 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. We see all fell within 4 or higher. And we see the total for these 6 questions at 4.6. So this is good data from an HR perspective, because we see that our new staff members who we've recently recruited, they feel supported by the administration. They're enjoying their time in the district. And after the first 30 days, they would reapply for their current position. Towards the end of October, I then disseminated the 60-day pulse survey data. And I wanted to highlight one of the questions here. It was actually the highest rating that we had at 4.9. It reads, based on the district's commitment to DEAI, I would recommend working here to a candidate. So the point being here that we are implementing various efforts to recruit diverse candidates, and we are also seeing that those candidates and all of our new employees have rated this question at a very high level. So I think that's really great and important to know. Shifting gears into some data now, the 22-23 staff data. We've been monitoring this as an HR department since July of 2020. It's important to note that all new hires complete a staff member identification, commonly referred to as SMID, and that form includes the demographic data, so it's self-reported. And then Human Resources enters that into our internal system, Systems 3000, and that's where the data was pulled for this report. I'd like to begin with a snapshot of the student data. So this data was taken on September 30th of this school year, of the 22-23 school year. And just 2 notable items in regard to some of the percentages here. We saw a 1% decrease in the Black or African American demographic, and we saw a 3% increase in the Hispanic student population. So that's now at 38.2%. This is our all staff data for 22-23, again, taken as a snapshot on September 30th. And here we see the various demographics. And when we do a side-by-side comparison of all students and all staff, we see some of the disproportionate numbers in regard to some of the demographic groups. This is all new hires from July 1st of 2020 until September 30th of 2022. And we see some of the various demographic percentages here. It's important to note that the Hispanic population for new hires in comparison to last year's report increased by 5.4%, and the Black or African American population demographic increased by 1.5%. In past years, the board has requested disaggregated data by certificated and non. So this is all new hires from July 1st of 2020 to the snapshot of September 30th of 2022. And then we see those demographic groups separated out by certificated and non-certificated staff. An example of certificated would be teachers, administrators. An example of non-certificated would be paraprofessionals. Here we see the student population in comparison to now the new staff data. And while still disproportionate, we see that in several areas, those numbers have decreased. When we do a side-by-side of all staff to new hires and that new staff hire data pulled out, again, we see some of the various increases in terms of hiring. And next steps. So we will continue to foster and seek partnerships with various organizations. I think it's reflects well on the district that we have our director of DEAI. I think it's reflective of our commitment to that as one of the district goals. We're continuing to increase recruiting efforts and always have our eyes and ears open for outside of the box thinking when we can attend maybe some non-traditional recruiting events and participation at seminars. And most recently, I had this past Friday the pleasure of joining Ms. Ortiz's classroom for our Tomorrow's Teacher from a not only a recruitment effort, but also just an opportunity to discuss with some of our high school students who are participating in that program some of the great opportunities and you know the wonderful components of working within the field of education. And I have to say, these 10 individuals move into the into a career of education, I think the future is very bright, very thoughtful group, great questions, very engaged, and I sincerely hope that they'll pursue a career in education. And we'll continue to monitor the number of diverse candidates on an annual basis to present out to the board. And that is my report. Thank you very much.
May I? Dr. Vespignani, I want to thank you very much. Very complete, very thorough. Dr. Collins is definitely a great partner in our effort. Do you need help, Lauren? Do any of the board members have any questions for Dr. Vespignani that he could answer? I know that you had the opportunity. You're all muted. Any questions, Brian? No?
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Vespignani, and just so pleased for the work that you and Dr. Collins are doing. And it means a lot to this district. I think as you mentioned, it's a challenging time to recruit in general. And we appreciate all the work that you're doing and also to help attract new talent and diversify our staff. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. Student liaisons, you're welcome to stay if you would like to go. I know that there's homework and lots to do. It's entirely your choice.
Okay, that was easy.
Thank you very much. All right. Dr. Schoen, thank you for your report as well. And so now on to the board. Do we have any committee reports this evening? All right, no committee reports. I will then on behalf of President Tunnicliffe give the president's report tonight. So I'd like, as the president often does, there's some notes about one of our schools, and tonight we're going to feature Gregory Elementary. Before doing that, though, I'd like to talk about some of the accomplishments of our talented students here in the West Orange School District. We've had a very exciting fall. The Marching Mountaineers competed on October 29th in the Bands of America New Jersey Regional Championship at Rutgers University. The band qualified for the finals competition for only the second time in school history, finishing in 6th place, the highest placement in a BOA regional in school history. The BOA New Jersey Regional featured bands from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Massachusetts. Congratulations to you all. Our boys cross country team captured the Super Essex Conference Liberty Division Team Championship on October 13th and ended their season 12-0. I'm a former cross country runner myself, so guys, keep, ladies and gentlemen, keep running or you'll end up like me. Boys soccer finished the year ranked 3rd in New Jersey. Those two, I'm at my limit now. Boys soccer finished the year ranked 3rd in New Jersey. In addition, they were named New Jersey's top ranked public school by NewJersey.com and the Star Ledger. Also, they ended the season as state sectional champions with an 18-3-1 record. Really amazing. Our girls soccer team won the Essex County Championship for the 2nd straight year. They also reached the final of the North 1 Group 4 state championships and finished the season, number 15 in the state with a 16-4-1 record. Last but not least, our high school football team achieved its first ever in program history North Jersey Section 2 Group 5 championship in the NJSIAA Rothman Orthopedic State Sectional, and for the first time ever making it to the finals to play the North 1 Group 1 championships yesterday, Sunday, November 20th. It was an amazing game, and we're so proud of you all and for you and for your amazing season. Also wanted to just mention the play Alice in Wonderland. Congratulations to the drama group. It was really terrific. And congratulations to all of our teams for an amazing season. Let's go Mountaineers. And so now on to Gregory School. A few items to highlight for Gregory. Night at the Museum, celebrating Hispanic Heritage. A Night at the Museum celebrating Hispanic Heritage event was held on October 26th. As part of our annual acknowledgement of Hispanic heritage, each grade level team builds a unit of study that focuses on a Hispanic country, region, or commonwealth. This unit of study lasts about 5 weeks. During this time, students are engaged in cross-curricular learning activities that result in the development of projects, artwork, and presentations that are displayed throughout the hallways of the school. Once we close out Hispanic Heritage Month, our families are invited to come visit us at night to engage in gallery walks throughout the school to view all of our students' work. In addition to this displayed student work, we had interactive activities for families that were led by staff members, live music, and Benji's food truck. It was an absolutely amazing night. 5th grade student council elections concluded last Wednesday. Students participated in primary electoral process, where 5th graders campaigned for 2 weeks for specific council positions, such as president, vice president, secretary, kindness ambassador, and class representatives for each homeroom. All winners of the primaries end up on the general election ballot that all 4th and 5th grade students participate in. Prior to the general election, students campaign for another week and close out their campaigns with speeches at a grades 4 and 5 assembly. All elected student council officers had a special early morning pancake breakfast this past Tuesday that concluded with the 5th grade student council induction ceremony. All right, Geography Awareness Week is just finishing up. All week long, students have been engaged in passport gallery walks throughout the building to make sure that they were able to see all of their fellow Eagle students' work developed from Hispanic Heritage Month. Each country that was studied had its own stamp, so as students walked throughout the building, they got their passport stamped. While students walked the building, they were guided by their teachers and asked to draw and write about their favorite fact learned about each country, region, or Commonwealth. Students had a lot of fun doing this with their classes. Students will add more to their passports for passport gallery walks scheduled later in the school year. Excuse me. And finally, on November 22nd, we are scheduled for our annual turkey trot. Students in grades 3 to 5 run about 1 mile around the school via our neighboring streets with their families and teachers. The West Orange Police Department helps make this a success by closing off the streets to keep us safe and cheer us on. That's it. Way to go, Gregory Eagles. All right, the next item on the agenda is the second reading and adoption of 2 policies, number 5512 and number 8505. Do I have a motion to adopt those policies?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, any comments? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Ms. Huerta,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next we will have questions from the public on agenda items only. Any community member who would like to make comments or ask questions, please come to the podium at this time. Please state your name and home address for the record and then begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any members of the public here in the audience tonight who wish to make a public comment on an agenda item? All right. Seeing none, let's move on to our resolutions. May I have a motion to approve the personnel items A1 through 6?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. I want to congratulate our retiree, Anne Marie Torre, a basic skills teacher at Hazel Elementary, for her 20 years of service and say thank you for your service to the West Orange students in our school community. Best wishes to you on behalf of the Board of Education. Board member, any discussions on personnel items A1 through 6?
Just a comment, if I may, just bring the attention to item number 6, the last item to recommend for Hayden Moore, just final congratulations before it's official, I guess. And we're looking forward to all the good work that you're going to be doing for our district. Thank you.
Seconded. Any further discussion? All right, Ms. Flowers, would you please take the roll call?
Ms. Huerta,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the curriculum and instruction items B1 through 8?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. And second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, Ms. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Ms. Huerta,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and may I have a motion to approve finance item C, special services items A1 through 3, and business office items B1 through 8?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Rock.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. Any discussion on these items? All right, seeing no, please take the roll call.
Ms. Huerta,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
And may I have a motion to approve the HIB report? One second here. Okay, to approve section D reports. I guess this is right. The HIB report D reports items 1 through 2.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, please take the roll call.
Ms. Huerta,
Yes.
Mr. Rock,
Yes.
Vice President Rothstein.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to my board colleagues. Next up, we have petitions and hearings of citizens on agenda or non-agenda items that you might wish to discuss. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please approach the podium at this time and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Darlene Berg, K-5 Math Supervisor and proud member of the West Orange Administrators Association. Whenever I stand before my teachers for a meeting or when providing professional development, I always try and make it a point to start by saying thank you to them for the work that they do and for choosing to be a part of this noble profession, education. So I would also like to extend the same sentiment to the board. Thank you for your time and the effort that you give to the school district on behalf of the education of our students. This is not a usual or especially comfortable circumstance for me to come and speak before the board wearing a red shirt like my colleagues in the West Orange Association, or to wear a button that says no contract, still working, always caring. But I wear my red shirt and button because, like my colleagues, we don't want to be invisible or forgotten. We continue to work without a contract. We continue to not have the opportunity to meet with the board and settle our contract. My understanding is that even though you have declared impasse, we could still meet, we could still try and discover an opportunity to solve and settle our contract. Dr. Vespignani shared with us the overall pulse rating of 4.8 out of 5 among new staff regarding their positive feelings about becoming a part of the West Orange Public Schools. Last week, he was kind enough to compliment our administrative team for the part that we play in supporting and mentoring talented individuals to make a long-term commitment to our students and to our schools. In exchange for a long-term professional commitment to our schools, the district provides intrinsic and acquired incentives, not the least of which is an employment contract. This is very basic to the quality of working life. The board has demonstrated an acknowledgement of the power and importance of an equitable employment contract by recently settling on a 5-year contract with our colleagues in the WOEA. This settlement honors their year-to-year commitment to excellence in education and exemplifies the desire to retain talented, passionate educators, many of whom have committed decades of their talent and expertise to our district. It is a recruitment tool, a way to improve retention. Of our nearly 600 tenured teachers, about 67% of them have been with the district for greater than 15 years. This speaks volumes to the commitment of the teachers to the community and of the community to the teachers. Interesting fact, of the 34 administrators in the WOAA, nearly 67% of the tenured administrators have also devoted the greater part of their professional lives, decades, to the West Orange School District. Please join us in settling the contract for the West Orange administrators. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Leslie Chung, and I'm an assistant principal at West Orange High School. I've worked in West Orange for the past 17 years. We are all dedicated professionals who take pride in the work we do every single day. Most of us, as Darlene stated, have been in the district for more than a decade. We love the work we do. We love working in West Orange. There are many things that may fall outside of the scope of our everyday responsibilities, but we don't question them because we want to make sure that we do everything we can to ensure the success of our students. At this point, I am concerned that as dedicated professionals, we are not being treated fairly. We will and have always fulfilled our responsibilities and would like to be treated with the respect we deserve. Walking away from the negotiation table was a disrespectful act. I hope that the direction we are going in can be diverted so that we can continue discussions and reach a fair resolution. However, the only way we can do that is through a discussion. I still don't understand how we reached an impasse. So the question is, where do we go from here? we are respectfully requesting that the board members come back to the table for a conversation and a fair negotiation. Treat us as the professionals that we have always shown you that we are. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Felix Plata. I'm the supervisor of ESL and World Languages, a member of WOAA, and board member of the West Orange Hispanic Foundation. First, to the board, I truly like to thank you for the work that you do, and specifically tonight for your support of the ELL programs that are referenced in tonight's agenda. So thank you. I would also like to thank the dedicated and collaborative administrators who are here this evening. Thank you. Together with their teams of teachers, we once again crafted programs in their respective buildings to address the specific needs of their multilingual learners and families. You are truly amazing professionals, both the administrators and teachers, so I thank you again for that. As a 23-year veteran in education, 5 as supervisor here in West Orange, 18 as a supervisor, teacher, and literacy coach in my previous district, and as a multiple-time member of the NJDOE Bilingual Advisory Committee, I've had the privilege of visiting, evaluating, and developing relationships with members of districts throughout the state. With that said, I'd like to celebrate the caliber of administrators we have here in West Orange, not only in terms of their individual professionalism and expertise, but also in their dedication and commitment to working with each other for the long-term success of the students and families we serve. Our respective teams, students, and families truly value this. To this point, I would also like to share that during my interview process to join West Orange, and for a time afterwards, teachers on the hiring committee, and eventually on my team, asked me either directly or indirectly if I intended to remain for an extended period of time as the supervisor of my programs. And each time a principal position opened, it was asked by some if I intended to apply. Now, while I genuinely feel like they would have supported any decision that I made, their communicated concern was clear. They valued and desired a leader that was committed and invested in their department for the long term. They, as well as I, have seen the impact that longevity of commitment can have on the success of a program, a building, or a district, and how not valuing that commitment can often stall progress. Since joining West Orange, I've been consistent in my message to work with my team for as long as possible to move our department forward in the best interest of the students and their families. I respectfully request that the board consider sending the same message to the West Orange community, that the investment and appreciation of the long-term commitment of this dedicated leadership team, your leadership team, is valued. We are your team and value the message you send us with your decisions. So respectfully and professionally, let's settle the contract and continue moving forward. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mark Maniscalco. I work in the high school. I didn't plan on speaking tonight. First, I want to congratulate and thank the board for the hiring of Mr. Moore to go downtown and for bringing on Mr. Guerrero. I think they're both perfect moves, and I appreciate that. Second, I want to thank Dr. Vespignani for the how do we call it? The presentation. Thank you very much. Sometimes I get stuck for words. The presentation, but to me, one of the most important things in that presentation was that Dr. Vespignani was stressing that we need to not just attract, but retain good people. And that's not just teachers, that's administrators as well. One of my greatest fears is that we're going to lose good administrators. And the way, in my opinion, you retain them is A, you get them a good contract, and B, that contract includes terms that reward people who stay around. It just does. On behalf of the teachers, I'm also asking that you get back to the table with them and try and get this settled. It's unsettling for all of us. Thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight and for speaking and for your service to our schools as well. At last month's Board of Education meeting, the West Orange Administrators Association indicated an interest in returning to negotiations. The Board of Education was, of course, very interested. We have a deep respect for our school administrators, as we do for all school district employees, and we want to move forward cooperatively. While a meeting was scheduled, we were unable to come to an agreement on the topics for the agenda. And so the meeting has not taken place. We do look forward to our next opportunity to meet and hope for an amicable resolution. Thank you all very much. All right, I think that brings us to the end of our meeting. I'm sorry, Dr. Schoen, anything you wanted? All right. Our next regular board meeting will be held at 7:30 p.m. on December 19th, 2022. This meeting will be held in the West Orange High School Library Media Center right here. We will not be going into executive session after the close of this meeting. There will be no further business discussed and no additional action will be taken. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Rock. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you all for joining us tonight. We wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season. Our meeting is now adjourned. We wish you a good night.